Kathy Rain is a point-and-click game developed by Clifftop Games that is similar to other games in the 90s and early 2000s. For this video, I am reviewing the original version of the game, not the director's cut. In the story, Kathy Rain discovers that her grandfather died. After going to his funeral, she seeks out to uncover what really happened to her grandfather and other people from her hometown. When I first started playing Kathy Rain, the first thing that struck me was the effort the developers put into its voice acting. I thought they would implement voice acting for the first couple of lines in each character's dialogue, like what other games would do, but Kathy Rain is actually fully narrated, and this was in 2016. I also love the idea that the game was released in a time where AI voices weren't a thing, and the game really shines with how the casting and faces of the characters match up to each other.
Do you mind telling me what happened when my grandfather came to see you?
He said they simply found Joseph in that condition on the outskirts of town.
Well, I'm just going through a rough patch.
The build-up of the story is also surprisingly good. It tries to shake off the typical cliches done on mystery and detective genres and instead leans on a more civilian rugged approach in solving crimes. Especially that the mystery lands quite close to Kathy's home, literally. Kathy's persona is also intriguing. A rebel by nature, she solves crimes and problems by taking advantage of the resources available to her. Due to her unorthodox methods, some of the outcomes of her actions are quite funny and satirical. For some people, they might find it annoying.
Yeah. What's this smell? Bacon? Oh, God, my head hurts. I'm seizing.
Nurse! He's seizing! Oh shit!
Of course, Kathy Rain, the game, still implemented a couple of motifs into the story that can be considered a trope, such as driving the story via the death of a loved one, or having a highly contrasting friend like Eileen, and having familiar themes relating to religion or death. Honestly, I loved Eileen's character, and I look forward to the day where characters like her are not treated like sidekicks or simply narrative vehicles in helping the protagonist move forward. Another thing I loved about the game is the setting. It kind of reminded me a bit of Alan Wake, wherein you get this eerie feeling at times, combined with the idea of an evil entity like in It. Or maybe a little bit of the mystery like in the first seasons of Stranger Things. Honestly, I am not a huge horror fan, and as it turned out, the scenes close to the ending were already quite scary for me. The antagonist is quite sinister, and I am baffled by how much I did not understand about the story by the end of it. Here are some things that you might want to consider when getting this game. Some people might not like the 4:3 aspect ratio of the game. Expect black bars on your 16:9 or 21:9 monitors. I was also surprised that launching the game opened a launch menu. When I saw this, I had to search when this game was really released because I couldn't believe that a game released post 2015 will still have limited graphic settings, even to simply just accommodate a wider monitor. I know that you can get the newer version of the game, which is the director's cut, but since I'm reviewing the original version, it could be a deal breaker, but personally I love the charm. My one struggle with the game is that I would have loved to see more coherence in connecting the dots in between locations. I somehow find myself a tad bit lost figuring out where to go next. Well, this is not necessarily a con, and it might just be a reflection of my lack of attention to detail or my lack of puzzle solving skills. There were frustrating moments wherein I found myself scrambling for a solution or a hint just so I can push through with the story. The turn to the paranormal and the oddities could be an unwelcome surprise for some gamers. It could be seen as a confusing conclusion to why the events turned out really odd and stranger than expected. The good thing is, this lends more material for more possible games and extensions on the Kathy Rain series. As for me, I'm probably going to reflect and think about the ending. Because as much as I want to think that it's metaphorical, there's still this aspect of something that's not dying or something that's immortal. And for me, I want to get into the root of that. I find that the ending of Cathy Rain not as conclusive as I would have wanted it to be. Well, there is always gonna be a hiccup when it comes to any form of media. Where Cathy Rain, the game, truly shines is in its ability to create a gripping story that keeps you hooked until the end. As someone who works with media, I am very much used to the typical formula used in films and video games. There's a specific cadence required to be able to keep a mystery hunt ongoing and fresh, and there must be a specific kind of tension that needs to be kept until the big reveal. Cathy Rain succeeds in these. In its storytelling, though, it can very much be a bit over the top, but I love how Cathy Rain is not apologizing for that. I personally find the humor funny and engaging. If you love a bit of deadpan humor, this game is something I recommend you explore. I wish for more games on the Cathy Rain series, and I'm sure to be playing the newer Cathy Rain game. That's it for me for now. This is Kairo, and I'll see you again next time.